You know that incredibly distinct, earthy smell when you walk through a good spice market? Well, there's a pretty high chance you've crossed paths with a literal botanical powerhouse. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the science and history behind fenugreek. This is a plant that has doubled as both food and medicine for thousands of years. Whether you've just used it to flavor a curry or seen it hyped up on the back of a premium health supplement, it's definitely made a name for itself. But as you'll see, its true value goes way, way deeper than just flavor.
So here's what we're going to cover today. We'll start with the fenugreek plant through history, then we'll break down the secret of the active formula, look at its medical and nutritional benefits, go over some really important warnings and side effects, and finally wrap up with daily methods of use.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, the fenugreek plant through history.
You see, fenugreek isn't just some flash-in-the-pan wellness trend. Not at all. Its roots go all the way back to the ancient era. The ancient Egyptians relied heavily on it for both food and medicine. That foundational knowledge didn't just disappear either. It was meticulously preserved and actually expanded upon during the classical Islamic medical tradition. And that exact same historical thread pulls straight through into the modern era. Today, it's still a massive cornerstone in modern folk medicine. It's literally stood the test of time, bridging these ancient civilizations right to our modern holistic practices.
So, botanically speaking, fenugreek is an annual herbaceous plant. It belongs to the legume family. Now, it does have these small green leaves and yellowish-white flowers, but the real magic? That happens inside the pods. I'm talking about the yellow-brown seeds. These little guys pack a seriously bitter punch and a highly distinct smell, one you will absolutely recognize the second you encounter it. And to keep up with massive global demand today, this incredibly resilient plant is cultivated all over the place, especially across North Africa, India, and the Levant.
Okay, moving on to part 2, the secret of the active formula.
Because look, fenugreek's power, it isn't magic. It all comes down to a remarkably rich chemical formula. First off, it's loaded with soluble fiber, which makes it absolutely incredible for your digestive health. But it also contains these things called saponins. Those are the active compounds actually responsible for a lot of its broader therapeutic effects. Throw in a wealth of essential amino acids that give it this massively high nutritional value, plus vital vitamins and minerals. Specifically, it's super rich in iron and magnesium. It is exactly this precise, naturally occurring combination that completely elevates it from just a basic kitchen spice to a truly functional food.
Which brings us to our third section, medical and nutritional benefits.
Thanks to all that dense, soluble fiber we just talked about, fenugreek acts as a heavy-duty digestive aid. It actually physically soothes the stomach lining, which is great for relieving indigestion and bloating. But honestly, what's even more fascinating from a metabolic standpoint is how it's been used traditionally to regulate blood sugar. It sort of smooths out your metabolic response, helping to blunt those sharp, sudden blood sugar spikes that you often get right after a heavy meal.
Now, another major benefit that pops up a lot in cultural and folk traditions is its role as an appetite stimulant. Instead of relying on synthetic stuff, people have traditionally used fenugreek to naturally encourage eating. It promotes healthy weight gain for folks who are naturally very thin or underweight. It basically just sparks the appetite in this natural, gradual way, helping the body absorb nutrients way more efficiently.
And well, we really can't talk about fenugreek without mentioning this one. It is incredibly famous for supporting nursing mothers. It's been widely documented and used for centuries for its natural ability to boost and support milk production. Seriously, it's a cherished staple in postpartum care across so many different cultures globally. So to kind of summarize all these benefits, fenugreek basically provides this general, holistic body-strengthening effect. Because of that super dense nutritional profile, the essential amino acids, the iron, the magnesium, it acts as a systemic tonic. It quite literally reinforces your body's overall nutritional baseline, supporting everything from your digestive tract all the way up to your metabolic function. But hey, before we all rush out and start dumping this on every meal, let's pause for a second. Is fenugreek safe for absolutely everyone? We really tend to fall into this trap of thinking that just because something is natural, it must be completely harmless for every single person on Earth. And that's just not the case.
Let's get into section 4, important warnings and side effects.
It is absolutely vital that we look at the contraindications here. First off, overuse can totally backfire. Taking too much can cause the exact digestive issues or diarrhea that it's actually meant to soothe. Second, and this is a big one, therapeutic doses are not recommended for pregnant women, mainly because the plant has the potential to stimulate uterine contractions. Third, while lowering blood sugar is a massive benefit for some people, diabetics really need to use it with extreme caution. It can drop your levels noticeably, and you don't want them dipping dangerously low.
And lastly, just like any plant, it might cause allergic reactions in some individuals. Knowing all of this just ensures we're using it safely and responsibly. All right, bringing us to our final section. Number 5, daily methods of use. So, how do we actually use it? Well, one of the oldest methods is preparing a simple boiled fenugreek tea. It's a remarkably easy process. You just soak a teaspoon of the seeds in water, bring that mixture to a boil, and then drink it as a warm, comforting beverage. Doing this effectively extracts all those soluble fibers and potent active compounds right into the water, which makes it super easy for your body to absorb. Now, if drinking earthy seed tea isn't really your style, no worries. There are plenty of alternative methods. You can take ground fenugreek powder and mix it up with some honey, or just sprinkle it right into your food as a regular spice. But moving beyond the kitchen for a second, fenugreek oil is actually used topically in a ton of folk recipes for skin and hair health. And of course, for modern convenience, you can easily find dietary supplements in capsule form. Just make sure you are strictly following the recommended dosages on the label so you can avoid those side effects we just talked about. So, the next time you spot those little yellow-brown seeds sitting quietly in your spice rack, you'll know you are looking at a piece of ancient medicine, a metabolic regulator, and a nutritional powerhouse all rolled into one. It really makes you wonder what else is hiding in plain sight in our pantries. What folk recipe is completely hidden in your own kitchen? If you've got a traditional use for fenugreek, I would love for you to share your experience in the comments. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.